Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is a brand new week, a brand new show. We are unedited, unfiltered, and we are going raw. My name is Joey.
And I'm Eric, and we're your hosts, and welcome to Raw Minds. There it
Yeah,
is,
buddy.
19.
1-9. Before we get into this, Eric, we should let our listeners know that we apologize ahead of time,
Yes.
as we usually drop episodes on Fridays. And we've had some computer glitches and we've had to troubleshoot it, and I think we're okay.
Fingers crossed.
So, regardless, if you guys never see an episode in the future for whatever reason, we'll do our best to not make that happen. But that is the only reason why it didn't come out on the Friday. Not because we weren't able to do it, because we will always do it. We will be here every week, every month, forever, because we love doing this and we're not going anywhere.
No, no, no. Well said. Well,
Yeah, buddy.
we'll just do our disclaimer. We're not doctors. We're not shrinks. We're not counselors. Nothing like that. We're just two guys that want to change the world one man at a time, and hopefully that's what we're doing. I think that's what we're doing. You know, changing people's lives and pushing the message out there, breaking the stigma.
Yeah, and if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't listened to us before, our main focus is spreading the awareness on men's mental health and health in general. We do talk to some females, but the basis of our show is, the daily struggles that us as men deal with, and
Yeah,
the backpack of bricks that we put on every morning when we leave our house, trying to be the best providers, the best husbands and boyfriends, best fathers, and just it can be hard sometimes. And
definitely.
myself and Eric have lived the chaotic, traumatizing, and a life of turmoil and pain and loss. And the reason why we do this is to, like Eric said, try to help as many people as we can and reach out to as many people as we can to let you guys know that you're not alone. What you are going through is temporary, and there are better days on the other side. I promise you that.
100%,
And
man.
if you guys ever feel alone, lost, broken, shattered, please email us rawmindspodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on TikTok, raw.minds.podcast. We answer all the messages. We answer all the phone calls. If you don't want to use your real name, that is totally understandable, and there's no pressure there. And if you have no one to turn to, or if you feel you can't find a source, uh, we can be that source for you. So hit us up, Raw Minds Podcast, gmail.com. That's why we're doing what we do. Help you guys with some pointers and tools to that we've used that might benefit you guys on finding that light again. So
Hmm. And we
thank
appreciate
you
all of
guys
you,
again.
you know.
Yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. And if you're new, welcome. We love you all. That's why we're doing it. And let's get into her.
Let's do it. Uh, so abuse, different types of abuse, all sections of sorts of abuse. And abuse fucking sucks, you know? It really does suck, especially mental. Um, I think I would say, Joey, um, mental abuse is even worse when it's you fighting yourself mentally. Instead, like, you know what I mean? Like, because you're your biggest critic. you know? Like, I fight my mind daily lately, definitely. And that's the hardest battle you have to fight, really, is fighting yourself. But
Well, the only thing or person holding you back
is you.
ever
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah.
That's it. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're struggling with, it's still on you.
Mhm.
You decide whether you move forward or stay where you are. You decide whether you get up that day.
Mhm.
You decide whether you want to change. So
Yeah.
battling yourself, and even though I've overcome so much in my life and I'm very grateful to be sitting here with you and doing this, I still struggle. We all do. I battle my own mind and my head every single day.
Yeah, man.
And it stems from, the things that I have been through. I've learned a lot in my own therapies and my own counseling and tools to use when you think like that, or when you have a lot of negative thoughts, and we tell ourselves, or I should say, for me, is I have a bad habit of finding or creating the worst possible outcome for the scenario when it hasn't even happened yet. Overthinking
Yeah, man. Yeah.
and causing myself anxiety, causing myself to step back and not move forward with that when there's no reason whatsoever indication that I shouldn't, but I'm doing it to myself because,
Yeah.
oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? And then you're like, oh, I can't do that. I shouldn't do that. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And that stemmed before when you are not in a good place in general mentally, and your self-esteem is really low, your self-worth, you feel, like you said, we're our own worst critics,
Mhm.
right? When we're in that, you don't have a whole lot of self-confidence. And when you don't have a lot of self-confidence, you care too much about what other people think, and when you have, like you said, with the mental abuse, even when you see haters, like even people you don't even know, like that's technically that's abuse. That's mental abuse. They're talking shit, they're criticizing, they're judging your weight, how you look. That's all mental abuse, man.
No, definitely. Definitely.
Right? So when people are at a low feeling a low self-worth and confidence, and they hear these things, they start to believe it because they don't even believe in themselves,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So when you're able to level up, move up, start doing things that make you feel good, raise that level of self worth, all these other things of mental abuse that tries to come at you, you're able to deflect a lot better and not take it so personally and really let it take you down, because like 90% of the reason why businesses don't start or people don't date that person is because of other people's opinions. You know what I mean? And people,
True.
and they don't live for them. They don't live for themselves. They're not doing what makes them happy. They're trying to people please.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that all the time, you live in a constant state of depression. And if you're in a constant state of depression, well, your self worth isn't very high. Your self esteem isn't very high. You doubt yourself every day. And again, you're the one that holds yourself back because you don't believe in yourself.
Mhm.
So
So true.
fighting that every day in your own mind. And I'm just learning that part of it. Is I'm starting to get a lot better, but we deal with it every day, man. And I hold myself back, or I've held myself back so much. When I look back and I'm like, man, if you just did it when you wanted to do it, you'd be in a whole different place right now. But
Yeah.
I didn't, because I held myself back,
Mhm.
because I just overthought the whole situation to the point where I got so much anxiety. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it now. But there was no indication that I shouldn't have. There was no reason why I shouldn't have. I didn't do it because I was messed up in my own head, holding myself back.
But then at that point, it's like it feels like it's climbing Mount Everest in some situations like that. You know what I mean? It feels like, all that battle you're dealing with is it's easier to climb Mount Everest than to get up and fucking take a shower or whatever it may be. You know, and that's.
Yeah,
I mean, your mind is fucking crazy. Your mind's crazy. You know,
but yet it's so powerful. And
so powerful.
once you learn how to use it properly and in a positive way, the you'll get to points like for me, I'm still not exactly where I want to be. I'm still working on things in terms of business and this and that, and it's a day to day, regular struggle, and that's life. But I never thought through the years of what I was battling and dealing with that I could even get to this point today, and the clarity in my mind and how much of my anxiety is gone now that I had, and all these things that I never thought I would have because I was always stuck holding myself back, stuck dealing with depression, stuck with low self esteem and no self confidence. I always worked hard, but you could be a hard worker and still have, you know, doubt yourself every day and hold
Yeah,
yourself back every day.
it's
Right.
true.
So to even get to that point now in clarity in my own mind is night and day.
Yeah,
But it takes work. But a
definitely.
lot of that comes from like the whole reason for this episode is the abuse.
Yeah,
And on the different levels of because we've all suffered abuse in one way or another. You might not have been physically or sexually abused, but I guarantee you there's someone along the way thinks that you're worthless or thinks that you're no good or hating on you or your parents weren't good parents.
yeah. Or relationships,
You
man,
know,
and your partner.
they're a million and a hundred
You know,
percent. That's the big one too, and the relationships you're with, and
definitely.
you know the abuse. No, someone doesn't have to put their hands on you to really to abuse you.
Yeah, it's true.
And the mind, and even especially with like relationships, the mind games that people play, the
Yeah,
even like even some with ghosting and
fucking insane.
acting one way, then the next week they're acting another, and you wonder why people go crazy in
Yeah.
relationships because it makes them go crazy. That's
Hmm.
abuse. You know what I mean? And when you have such a bond and love for somebody, or you think you love them, whether it's your good friends, family, or the relationships, and they start doing this and doing that, and makes you go all loopy like that's a form
Yeah,
of abuse.
yeah. Even monkey
If you're,
branching. You know, monkey branching. It's where
yeah, I've
like
heard that.
a lot of like in relationships, a lot of partners, um, they will have someone on standby. So they're as they're holding on to this new person or whatever their person, they have this other person, and they can swing to that person. It's called monkey branching. It's just dragging someone along, right?
And that, and I'll say is like, especially in the relationship side of it, when people do that to people, like it is it is damaging. It is
Definitely, man.
extremely damaging, especially when you know that you're doing the best that you can. You treat them good, whether it's guy, girl, or vice versa, and people that monkey branch or this week they're loving and this and that and they're doing
Yeah.
this and next week they're complete opposite. I haven't heard from them in 4 days. Like that fucks you up.
Or
It
breadcrumbs
literally
too, man. That shit too. Leaving
just
breadcrumbs a
drags
little
you
bit.
along.
Yeah.
If you look at the dating world, it really isn't that hard. If people, you know what I mean? Like it's really not difficult
No.
if people were just upfront with their intentions
Yeah.
and just said, you know what, this is what I want. If you don't like it, that's cool. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
nobody's honest. Everyone plays games.
Exactly.
And and a lot of people that go into relationships, they're very emotionally damaged already.
Yeah.
They haven't healed themselves. They haven't fixed themselves. So, and a lot of people don't realize how damaged they are until they get into the next relationship, because now you're just again bleeding on people that didn't cut you, like we mentioned a long time ago, and the damages that that person picks up from you because you didn't fix yourself is very mentally abusive and very mentally damaging, because this person and I was used to be, I've been in that spot a few times where I look back, I'm like, I don't understand. I
Mm-hmm.
was good to you. I was loyal. I never swore at you, respectful, blah blah blah, trying to be the best that I can and take you out, and then they're doing all these things to me. I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Right? And the damage that that caused, because now that lowered my self-worth and self-confidence, thinking that I wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
When I knew that I was doing the right things, I thought I was, but that really brought me down, back down. And that happens to a lot of people is, in that one relationship that they're in, that they are mentally abused, they're told that, whatever, if it's even a controlling relationship, well, you can't have friends, you can't do this and that, swearing, fuck you, you're no good, and cheating and all these other things like that. That's very abusive as well. You don't
Yeah,
have to touch
definitely,
them.
man. Definitely.
And I believe that the mental is way more damaging than the physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
I truly believe that, especially in
Well,
my
it's planting
histories.
bombs, like you said, man. You know what I mean? And then, like, at that point, then you're thinking, what did I do wrong? Was I not good enough? And a lot of times that, like, like that shit happens. You know, it's true, man. And then you start getting in your own thoughts, and then you just get deep and get crazy. You
and
know?
being and being told that, or those things happening to you through a whole relationship, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years or whatever, it because it's so damaging and drops your own self-confidence and self-worth, that you start to believe it, and going into the next relationship, you don't think you're good enough, you don't think this or you don't think that, so you start to settle. And people, I see it all the time, is they start settling with what they're used to, because they don't feel deserving of somebody else, because that last person that abused them like that brought them down so low that they just think that that's all they deserve.
Yeah.
That's all, you know what I mean? So it's really hard for someone who comes out of relationships like that to have a high self-worth, and for them to know that they deserve better. They all know that they didn't deserve to be treated like that, but do they truly believe that?
Yeah.
Right? Because they just got pushed down so low and so broken that they have no self-confidence anymore. So they just feel like, well, if that's all I can get, then that's what I'm going to stay with,
Yeah.
because they don't believe in themselves. So it's very, very difficult, and it's a
Well,
long process to work on, and the therapy and the counseling to really rebuild yourself in that sense, to
yeah.
come out of abusive relationships or abusive childhoods,
Well, it's trauma
right?
on trauma is what it is, right? It's overlaying on trauma, you know?
1,000,000%. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not easy, but
Gotta
you
break the
gotta
chain, man. That's what it's about.
you
Is
gotta break the chain and know that you are worth it.
Yeah.
You deserve better, and you gotta put in the work to raise that self esteem again.
Yeah.
You know, I read this book when I did that 75 hard program in it, and it talked. It's about childhood traumas and why some people do what they do. And one of the things was that with women, when they're in these abusive relationships, that when the next guy comes along that treats them well and is good to them, they're so uncomfortable
Yeah.
with that because they're not used to that, that they always, knowing that that's what they want, because every girl will say the exact same thing, doesn't matter who it is. I want a guy that treats me good
Yeah.
and sweet and loyal. Every single one of them says that. But once most of them that get it actually gets it, it makes them extremely uncomfortable because they're so used to the abusive relationships that they've already been through because of
Mm-hmm.
their own low insecurities and self-esteem, that all of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere and he's the right guy, but they self-sabotage that. And that's how, and I thought I was the right guy for two that I can think of where I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. What did I do wrong? But now it made sense after reading that book on why some of these women do this, is they're so uncomfortable with that change and they're not used to that, that they always run back to the people that did abuse them because even though they don't want that, they're more comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's what they're used to,
And
right?
that's what they're used to.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, this guy's treating me good. This doesn't feel normal, and it starts scaring them because normal to a lot of people out there, really, let's face it, is being abused mentally and physically. And that's where, like, even you grew up in like a childhood like that. You saw your mom or your dad getting abused. So that's normal to you. And then that's what you look for in a partner because that's normal. That's what all you've known. And then next thing you know, you find someone like you said, and someone's treating you good. No, this is not normal. This is not normal to me. This person shouldn't be treating me like this. They should be smacking me around. I gotta go find that again. And it sucks.
And it,
It's sad.
and it freaks them out.
Yeah, man.
It freaks them out. So
Yeah.
they're not used to that. So after reading that, because for the longest time, that really weighed on me
Mm-hmm.
on why the girls that I've dated in the past decide to go back. Because I remember dating this one girl. I ended up I liked her quite a bit. We got along great, communication, all this stuff for a month or two, and then once her feelings really started to, she freaked out and backed
Yeah.
off. And then in that, she told me about her ex that smacked her around before and blah blah blah. Well, then after she basically self sabotaged it when I didn't understand it,
Yeah.
she ended up going back to the guy that smacked her around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And I never understood it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And very successful, shit together, amazing mother. And then I just looked at him like, what the is wrong with you? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But after reading that book and, after my own healing journey and understanding these things, is I understand it. I still don't get it,
Yeah.
but I understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't make sense to anybody why you would have someone that treats you, whether it's vice versa, guy or girl,
Yeah.
that treats you so well, but then you throw that away
Because
to
that's
go
what you
back.
know. So, that's just
But
what.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's where I understand it,
Yeah.
and
But it's about
those are the
breaking that
ones.
chain, man. You know what I mean? And that's, and then like me, I've dealt with that too. I've been in situations, and then you want to like try to save this person, but you can't save this person. They can only save themselves. You know, it's stay away from that life. Like I got you, but no. But then that's not a true relationship because now you're just saving someone.
Well, when I look back at some of my relationships too, is my brother-in-law actually said it, and I didn't really see it like that because you never do until someone points it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what you are, man, is an emotional paramedic.
Yeah.
You're always trying to fix people.
What's an empath, right?
When you,
That's an empath, man.
and when I really look back at it, I'm like, damn, like I did, but yet I wasn't fixing myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help others and fix others, but I'm not fixing myself
Yeah.
because it's always about other people, and it's okay to be about other people and be, and be helpful. But in the relationship side, especially, man, I wasn't helping myself. I wasn't
Yeah.
fixing myself. I was trying to fix them. And these are the ones that were damaged, not realizing how damaged they were. But when I look back now, it's like, well, I attracted them
Yeah.
because I was damaged. You know, I was damaged in a whole different way. I might not have been a cheater or this and that. Like a lot of people say, well, I'm not like him or her. I didn't cheat. And yeah, but you attracted that. And there's a reason why you attracted that because there's something else going up in your head that you haven't fixed yet.
Yeah. Your subconscious
You don't
mind.
have to be a cheater like they were, but you ignored the red flags. You didn't have boundaries. You had low self esteem. You had something.
Yeah.
There was something there that you did not fix going into that relationship. So you attracted that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So I did the same. And then I just realized I'm like, man, but I was so damaged that I was attracting the girls that were damaged that needed fixing. So I thought I'd feel better about myself if I tried to help them. And
yeah.
it's real easy to give great advice because I can give a lot of it, but at that time I wasn't taking my own advice. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, and I realized I'm like, man, I'm messed up because I went through the abuse and years of it from since I was a kid to now. So I wasn't trying to fix it. I was using relationships and alcohol or whatever it is, like we all do, as temporary band-aids, self-medicating
Self-medicating. Yeah.
to cover up, the thoughts of what has happened to us as children
Yeah.
or what that relationship just did to you or whatever it may be or what your parents did to you.
Mhm. Until you wake up the
And
next
we do,
morning and it's still fucking there. You know.
but
That's
it's finding that it's and a lot of us don't like, we all know when we do things, certain things, like even if it's like smoking, we all know it's bad. Everyone knows on the planet who smokes they shouldn't smoke. I should
Mhm.
quit. But until, for most people and most things in life in general, is until something really bad happens because of that, or you hit a rock bottom because of that, is when people all of a sudden like, I need to change
Like
now.
a life-changing event.
Like a life changing, like, oh, if you're a smoker for 30 years and all of a sudden they get told you got cancer and if you don't quit, you're going to die. Most people will quit
Mhm.
look what it took,
Mhm.
And then I think when it comes to the people that's dealt with the abuse in their life, is there's got you'll hit a point of like a low or a rock bottom, or where it's like, you know what, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore. Something usually has to happen for people to be like, I need to change.
Yeah.
And like a
Awakening
door
moment.
slamming in your, an awakening moment. And
Boom. Yeah.
for me, it was 2 years ago, and I woke up, and I've never felt like that in my life. It was the most painful, enlightening thing that ever happened, and that was my awakening of like, and I was having flashbacks of abuse and my what's going on with my kids, et cetera, where I'm like, I'm tired of having failed relationships. I'm tired of this, and that was it. And I started to change because I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And most of us won't change until something like that happens.
Mhm. But you know
But
what? Like we said though, it's hard. It is hard. You're fighting yourself, and that's why you need something drastic to happen, to kick you in the ass, really. But if you can like pull that strength and do that before you hit any of that, that's amazing. And good work to anybody out there that does that because it's hard. It really is hard. It's fucking hard.
well, and the biggest thing that we've said before is it's the self awareness of it,
Yeah.
right? If you're not self aware of it,
Yeah.
because I wasn't for years. Oh, I'm fine, and then you're happy, you're with this person or doing this, you're fine. Then you just go through waves through your life, but you're not really
Uh,
piecing it together of why.
yeah.
Why did you have another failed relationship?
What's biting you
Why
in the
did this
ass?
happen?
Yeah.
Why is this kicking you in the face again?
Yeah.
Why this? And then we all put it off. You're not piecing together the core problems of why. We only see, the exterior of that one problem,
Mhm.
when we act the way we act and we do the things that we do, because there's a reason behind that why people are so angry all the time.
Yeah. It's
It's
deeper,
not
man.
just because you had it's way deeper than that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to go deep into the
You know,
core.
and actually with the book I was just talking about, it's the exact same book. They say when you see people act out or they're being strange or crazy, everyone says the same thing. Like, fuck is wrong with that guy? But nobody asks what happened to him.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference. What
Yeah.
happened to that guy that
Yeah.
he's being
To
like
make
that?
them to
There's
get to
some.
that point.
That's
Yeah.
it. We just
Yeah.
think, oh, he's an idiot, or they're crazy, or yeah, but why?
Yeah.
What
Everybody's got a
happened to
story,
them?
right? Everybody has a story, man. It's just
But
how do they
once
got
you
there?
create, but when you get to a point of a higher self awareness, because a lot of people aren't. You know, we mentioned that in the last episode. I think there's like 85% of people I read is not even self aware.
Yeah.
That's a big number. But
Yeah.
if every day that you wake up and something bothers you, and it's every day, you have the chance to change it, do it. Because you're dragging it out, you're making yourself worse, and you're just adding because the next thing that comes along that's going to hit you in the face, because it's life,
It's piling up.
you're just at is piling it up.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you can do to work on it, and if it's only certain things you can control, whatever you can control, and whatever the work that you can put in to make the change, even if it's going to take 6 months, start today.
Mm-hmm.
Start working on it. You got to, because then it piles up, like you just said, over time. And because life's not over, if you're waking up every day, you have another day of life.
Yep.
And that day, something's going to come up. And as we get older, people pass away more because they're getting older, family, whatever it might be, job problems, all this piles up and life goes on and life's going to happen. So
Yep.
if you're having all these issues that you're sitting on that you can fix and you don't, and now this comes around the corner, and this comes around the corner, you're really you're just adding those bricks to that backpack every morning that you wake up.
Setting
And
yourself up for
eventually you're
failure, bro, is what it is. You
and
know?
eventually you're gonna have a real hard time even leaving your house.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. You're stuck in your room like I was
Yeah.
for 5 days. I couldn't even pick up that backpack. It was so heavy I couldn't even walk out my front door.
Yep.
So instead of adding the bricks that we carry, is do everything that you can to start getting rid of those bricks one by one. Right? And we said it
Yeah.
a few times before, we don't just wear the backpack walking out the front door every morning. We're wearing it watching TV. We're wearing it playing with our kids. We're wearing it showering. We don't take it off. And it weighs on us and it weighs us. And it eventually, like I said, it weighs you down to the point where you can't even walk out your front door. It's so heavy.
Yep.
So
That's when you need to ask
when
for help, to help pull those fucking bricks out of there. That's when you're a friend, counseling, just anything that will help, you know, get that shit off of your chest. And I'll tell you this, it usually stems from childhood trauma. Everything that we deal with that affects us stems from childhood trauma. And it's true. And we just carry that shit. Some of us can hide it better than that others, but every single person in this world deals with some kind of childhood trauma. I mean, even the rich people, sometimes these guys are so rich they don't pay attention to their own kids, so they just give them money instead of feelings. I knew someone, same thing. Their parents were well off, and instead of getting attention, they would just give money all the time. So that person would go out and do bad things to get attention, because any kind of attention is attention at that point, you know? So it all stems from childhood shit. It's just a matter of
and
finding it.
and a lot of people that know they've been through that are aware of it, and I know a few, refuse to go and talk about it because it's easier for them to not talk about it
Yeah.
and push it down. I'm fine. I'm fine. If I don't talk about it, if I talk about it, it's just going to trigger me, and then I don't want to do it. I can't. But the amount of damage, and I'm living proof of that, the amount of damage that you are causing yourself, for one, going into future relationships, friendships, work, whatever, because you continuously push that down and not release it and learn to let it go and learn to talk about it, you'd be amazed at the transition in your life will take by hitting it face or hitting it head on, facing it head on,
Yeah.
and dealing with it.
Yeah.
You have to,
Yeah. Well,
right?
it's like a ball that's like leaking toxic shit in you, pretty much is what it is. You know, every fucking week it leaks a little bit of more toxic shit that just fucks you up even more, man. At the end of the day, that's what it feels like. You know, you just keep on
Well, it's
piling
like
that stuff
it's like
down, and then you're gonna explode. You know, it's gonna fill up to the point where it just goes boom. And like we said before, you're gonna take it on out on someone that doesn't deserve it. You know, and then you're gonna mess that relationship up. And then you're really fucked.
and
Right?
if you have kids,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can you pass down generational
Yeah,
trauma. All the trauma that you do not deal with, you will pass down to your children to deal with.
100%. Yeah,
Look it up. It's a fact.
it's a true thing.
Everything that if you bury, if you don't hit head on all the traumas and whatever abuses that you've had to deal with in your life, and you keep pushing it down, I don't want to talk about it, I'm fine, your children will deal with that.
Yeah. Well, let
So,
me.
like you said, it's breaking the chain,
Yeah,
and it's not even just about breaking the chain. Well, my parents abused me, so I abuse my children, or whatever it is. It's you're doing it for you
yeah,
to live a happier life. When people deal with very traumatic events in your life, whether you're raped as a child, it's really sad, but it happens. Abuse, like look at the guest that we had on our show, a while ago. His birth mother threw him into a boiling bathtub of water
yeah,
at 11 months old, and now he has no hands, feet, burned all over his body. Like what that gentleman had to deal with growing up, 27 years old now, and to overcome on the daily, and you know
every day, man.
like
Yeah,
that's an extreme,
yeah.
that's an extreme case, because it's horrible. Like we always said, if it's even if it's not your fault, it's still your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the things that happen to us, especially when it comes to abuse as children, we were just kids. It's definitely not our fault. No
Yeah,
child on the planet deserves that.
just pure, man. You're a pure
No,
child, man. You know, sickening.
nobody deserves that.
No,
But it's still made to be our problem because we have to live with that for the rest of our lives.
it's true.
You know.
Yeah,
So if you're listening to this right now and you've been through that, like I have, I was sexually abused when I was 4 years old. I was physically abused growing up in elementary school, and to go through that, it's traumatizing 100%. My dad even brought it up to me the other day. We haven't talked about it in years. And he's like, I don't think you really fully dealt with that. And he's like, I don't know why we're having this conversation right now, because I'm 41.
mm-hmm.
And he's like, I truly believe that there's a little bit more to why you were the way you were. And maybe he's right. Maybe I'm missing a piece because when we deal with certain traumatic events, we black it out.
Yeah,
I tried to even go back to remember, even though I don't want to. I couldn't. I can only remember little bits,
yeah,
but I blocked it.
yeah,
And a lot of people do that, right? And a lot of people think about what's happened to them every single day that could have happened to them that was really bad 10 years ago.
mm-hmm.
But if you're thinking about something like that, that it really affected your life 10 years ago, every day, you definitely need to reach out. You need to face it. You need to figure out how to or find tools
Mm-hmm.
to help you deal with it better. Because again, like we said, it builds up, it stacks up, and your children and your relationships will pay for that.
Well, have you heard of the ayahuasca, where you drink the tea and you
I,
like hallucinate?
I heard something about that. Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we had a mutual friend that went and did that, and it's apparently life changing. You know, I don't know. I heard it takes away abuse. I knew someone else that did it a couple of years back too, and they had been sexually abused, and some had trauma and stuff. And he went there, and he did the whole ayahuasca trip, and he came back, and he was a different person. He's like, it healed me. You know, he went into this hallucination thing, and um, his guide, spirit guide, I guess, or whatever it is, guided him through everything. And apparently, he cried his eyes out and laughed and was angry and all this stuff. And it cured him of his trauma. Pretty wild. It's interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
like they even say that, obviously, and because it's becoming more mainstream as mushrooms,
Yeah.
and they're using mushrooms for that kind
Depression.
of stuff too.
Yeah, depression definitely. Yeah.
Depression. They're using, like, I heard they're using ecstasy for schizophrenia
Yeah.
and things like that, right? But it you just got to do the research. And some, like, when I was in that place that I've never felt like ever, the most painful,
Mhm.
you know, you, I knew that I had to pick the positive road and not drink, not do all the negative things. And when you're in that spot, like I said, it takes that one rock bottom or that one life changing event to really make you realize that you need to change or
Yeah.
you got to start doing different things.
Mhm.
Is you, at my point in that low was I would try anything and do anything. I did not care if I used to think it was stupid, whether yoga to reading this book or doing these exercises, and I would do anything because I refused to feel like that.
Yeah. Especially you don't want to feel like
So
that. Definitely not.
no, it was
No.
it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I have kids, and I knew I had to make that change because I had another failed relationship
Yeah.
and this and that, everything else to add, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore to myself.
Well, do you agree?
I
Does it
was,
make you feel heavy? Like you just feel like like you said, like the backpack of bricks, and it makes you just feel heavy. Does that make sense to you? That's how I feel. Like in like just like in a dark aura and just fucking heavy. It's an awful
yeah,
feeling.
very heavy.
Yeah.
And then for me, when I would talk to people, I was looking at them and I was talking back,
Yeah.
but
Not there.
my mind wasn't even there
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Autopilot.
I would autopilot,
Yeah.
and I was only thinking about what's wrong with me rather than being in the moment
Yeah.
or in that day. And that's what I struggle with the most is learning to be in the moment.
Because you're looking
But we
forward
get
or
so,
back. Is that what it is?
yeah, either or.
Yeah.
Create, like I said at the beginning, is creating
Over
negative scenarios.
overthinking is what it is.
Dude, I got a lot of positive things going for me right now, and all I could think about, and I just had this conversation the other day with my dad,
Yeah.
a heart to heart, and I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. Is I should be jumping up and down with excitement that I'm going to do this and this, but all I can think about was a possibility of
Like
the
zero
worst
zero
scenario.
point. 0.001, right, of the possibility, but you just get stuck on that
Yeah,
shit.
and stuck on
Yeah,
that scenario,
yeah,
and it hasn't even happened. I've created it.
yeah. That's what
Oh
it
well,
is.
fuck, if I do this, then
Yeah,
I get anxiety, and then I keep overthinking it, and then I sit on it for days, and I'm like, this hasn't even happened. What the hell is
yeah.
wrong with you?
So here, that's the
And
same thing like we were
that's
just talking about with the relationships, like the self-sabotage. So that's what you're slowly doing in your head, self-sabotaging, you know? I feel it, bro. I do it. That's I'm an overthinker myself too. So like as soon as you like say you meet someone new, you fucking all of a sudden have like 20 million thousand like scenarios of everything what's happening. This is gonna happen. Like it's wild, man, what it does to you. It really is.
I've self sabotaged myself my
Yeah,
pretty much my whole life,
yeah,
for the most part,
yeah. But you
because we've
but you
and
have
it's
pride that
you.
also that's another thing though. You just want everything to go perfect. You know what I mean? And the shitty thing is nothing's perfect in this world. Nothing is perfect. I mean, some stuff may be perfect in your eyes, but it's not perfect. You know what I mean? And that you're just trying to like nothing's going to be perfect. Shit happens. Shit happens. This world is a fucking nightmare some days, man. Look what's happening around this world, you know? But you just got to keep an open mind of like shit's going to happen, but it's okay, you know? And that's what it is. Shit's going to happen, but it's okay. Just roll with the punches, man. Cuz you need some toughness, some shit to happen because that's where you learn your lessons and that's where you learn. And this comes in to not just business but everything. You need to learn those lessons because how are you going to grow, right? That's what it you like
100%.
how do you think fucking someone figured out milk? Some guy's going around sucking on cows' nipples or something, and then like you need to learn these sucked on the wrong thing. Whoops. Like you need to learn these lessons in order to push forward. Because look what happened, man. We got milk. I love milk, but anyways, but it's true, man. Like you need shit needs to happen in order for you to learn lessons, and that's how you set boundaries
and
with
lear-
people too.
and learning the tools out of that, and if things like that happen again, and how to deal with it better.
100%.
You know, once you get to that point, and I think, actually, sorry, I should say, is most of us have a problem with living in the moment and being present
In
in
the
the day,
moment, yeah,
in the moment, in the day,
yeah,
because we're all struggling with something. We're only thinking about what happened to us a month ago. My case, I'm thinking ahead that scenarios that hasn't even happened,
yeah,
and I'm cloudy. I'm not there. You're talking to me, but my mind's over here, and I'm fighting myself, like you said in the beginning. It's constantly fighting yourself.
yeah. It's the hardest battle, man. You're gonna have to go through in life is fighting yourself.
But when you get to a point of finding that clarity in your own mind, in the terms of, with childhood abusive situations that you've dealt with, abusive relationships you've been through, and working on those things and seeking help, figuring it out, tackling those core issues, then obviously those things that cloud your mind and pollute your mind every day starts to become more clear, where you can be self-aware
Mhm.
of being in the moment and being in the day and enjoying your day and
Yeah.
spending proper time with your children,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean, without playing stupid scenarios and battling yourself just trying to get through the next day when your kids are yapping in your ear because they want to play with you, but you're lost up in space right now
I just got a good
because
quote
you're not
I just made up
you're
right
not
now.
there.
Forward is
What's up?
forward, bro. Just forward is forward. That's it. Forward is forward. Simple. As long as you're going forward, you're going forward. That's it right
That's
there.
true.
Right? Doesn't matter if it's fucking 3 inches or fucking 8 kilometers or 8 miles for the Americans. You know, forward is forward.
Going forward with that 1 degree that we
Mm-hmm.
talked about with the
Mm-hmm.
ship,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where you're going to start stepping out of your comfort zone. That's when you're going to start learning different things and new things and meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
Is, you know, when we're stuck battling ourselves every day because we're struggling, you're not open to new things. You're stuck in the same cycle and routine every day because you're comfortable in it,
Yeah.
but yet you're struggling in it at the same time. And again, it goes back to, the people that run back to the people that abuse them, because that's all they're used to.
Yeah.
When you're struggling every day carrying that backpack, it's you're just existing. You're stagnant in your life. You're comfortable, but you're not. You're miserable, but you're comfortable.
You got to get uncomfortable, man, to move forward. That's where you grow.
But when you start dropping those bricks out of that backpack and your mind becomes more clear and not full of poison by working on the things that has
Mm-hmm.
affected your life, then you start moving forward. Like you said, always move forward.
Forward is forward.
And that 1 degree, you know, is, you offset a ship's destination across the ocean just 1 degree.
Yeah.
In one week, it's not going to change much. 2 months later, completely new destination. And that's how you got to live your life: is do different things, find the things that you enjoy, live for yourself, stop living to please other people. And then you start bringing up that self-esteem and your self-worth, where, you know, when you encounter, especially, abuse in general, you're in such a better place in your own head, and finally get to a place of loving yourself, that you're able to
Yeah.
cut that shit off right there. It's not going to affect you like it used to. You set the boundaries, like, no, you're done. No, I'm not tolerating that. No, I don't care if I lose you as a friend, if you're going to act or be like that,
That's when you know
because
you have
I've learned.
self-worth.
And that's when you know that
Yeah.
you've rebuilt yourself and you truly love yourself and what you
Definitely.
will tolerate and put up with in your life.
Yeah.
And that's where people need to get to.
Yeah.
And as long as you carry all this trauma and abuse, you will never truly get there, because you haven't let it go and you haven't fixed it and you haven't worked on it, and you're burying it, and now
Mm-hmm.
you're just adding to it. And that's why these people stay in these abusive relationships, because they never fix that.
Mm-hmm.
They have no boundaries. They don't have high self-esteem. They only think that's what they deserve,
Yeah.
and they will never find the real happiness and be able to look in the mirror and say, "I love myself."
Yeah. Exactly,
Because
man.
it's a lot of work to get there, but if it is so worth it on the other end. So when we say, when you're in that dark place and you are feeling so broken and shattered, we said at the beginning, is that it is temporary and it doesn't feel like it. It
No.
feels like every day you wake up, you feel like this, I'll never get over this, but you will.
Yeah.
But it's only up to you on how you start taking bricks out of that backpack one by one.
Yeah. Only
Are
you
you
know how
gonna
to do it, right?
keep adding to it as you get older, or are you gonna start dropping them off
Mm-hmm.
and releasing that weight so you can start to run and live your life, rather than, you know limp because you're carrying so much weight?
Mm-hmm.
So it's you have to hit head on your core issues and what was really going on and what happened to you. Because even with like anxiety, like I struggled with high anxiety for years, because of all my other stuff. Until I seen a video one day, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, if it causes you the anxiety, the best thing you can do is hit it head on. And if it's something and you're trying to hold yourself back and it's causing you anxiety, do it.
Yeah, take
Just
the
get
lead.
up and do it, because most of the time, at the end of it, you're like, why was I like that? Like,
Mm.
there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with your core issues. Is it might sting, it might be very uncomfortable to relive what happened to you, but you have to.
Yeah.
You absolutely 1000% have to get it out
Feel to heal,
and
man.
talk. When you feel, you heal.
Yeah.
100%. Otherwise, again, you're passing it on to your kids. You are bleeding on people that didn't cut you. You're going to end up hurting people that you didn't want to hurt. And you will have, just like me, another failed relationship. And then you're going to look back and be like, I'm tired of doing this to myself. Now I'm realizing that this is me. Because it's very easy, like we always say, to point fingers. Like, oh, well, that relationship ended because of that and that. Like, no. Because when I
No.
look back at mine, like, no, that was you
Yeah.
in a different way. In a different way, you know?
Yeah,
That was
definitely.
your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So until you can look in the mirror and take accountability as well, and say, no, I need help. No, I'm fucked up. No, that was my fault. I apologize. Take accountability for your own life and your own choices. Because again, whatever's happened to you, whether it's your fault or not, is still your problem.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it now? Only you can. Only people can help you and guide you, but only you can change.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to save. Nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
And stop waiting for the right time, because that will never come. You just got to do it. Oh, well, next month. Next month. No, no. You got to do it today, right now.
Take the step.
Otherwise, you'll never do it. Otherwise, you'll never do it, because it'll never feel like the right time. It'll never feel like, oh, well, if I'm with somebody, I'll be happier. No, you got to. It starts with you, right? So
Yeah.
you got to take the initiative and take action, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how much it hurts, and do it.
And
Let it out.
just to show everybody out there, I just got a counselor because I'm going through some shit. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. You know, just reach out and ask for help, man. That's all it is. You gotta save yourself. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta take care of yourself. You know, and it starts with up here, in here first. As soon as you can conquer that shit, then you can move on to everything else. But
Yeah, you got to be selfish, man.
yeah, hundred
Stop
percent.
worrying about other people or meeting girls or whatever. Fuck all that noise. You have to be selfish and dial in on you
Yeah,
first.
build you, man. Build your
Because
empire.
we always say, once you do that, the amount of people and kind of the type of people that you start to attract,
Yeah,
it will blow your mind.
yeah,
It'll be a lonely journey at the beginning, because you're focused on you. You're saying no to going out on Fridays. You're saying no to going to that party. No, I got to do this. I got to go to this counseling. I'm not going out for dinner tonight. I'm sorry. Say no. Focus on you. Take a couple months. Be alone. Because then
yeah,
after that, I tell you, man, the relationships you will attract, the friends you will attract, it'll blow your mind.
yep.
But you got to put in the work.
You
You
have
have
to.
to say no. You got to put in the work, and you got to hit those core problems head on. You
Yeah,
have to.
yeah. I mean, look, I have sticky notes. They fell off my mirror. I gotta go get some. You can see it somewhere back there in my mirror. But I gotta go get some tape. Well, yeah, I gotta get some tape because they all fell off. But I mean, do things like that. You know, put affirmations, put it on sticky notes, put it all over your mirror. You know, just then you see that shit in the morning. I mean, look, you can see the little yellow one right there, and there was a pink one underneath. I had this whole thing filled around in a circle, but yeah, they all fell off, so I need some tape. But yeah, do those things. You know, meditate. Do what you need to. I mean, play video games. I mean, sometimes, like to me, sometimes I need to just get away from life and I play video games. You can be whoever the fuck you want to be in this world. Do whatever you need to do to help you out. I mean, don't go out and get drunk. Don't do that shit. Do smart shit, man. You know, take care of yourself. But um, I also want to say before we end this, um, think of it this way: when you're meeting people, or if you're in a relationship, and you argue with these people, have the mindset maybe that's what you need to work on. Why you're getting mad at this person is actually a reflection of you and yourself, or the relationships you have with people. It's a reflection of yourself in them. Every person you meet, every relationship you have, it's a lesson somewhere in there, you know. So maybe think of it that way.
Good way to think about it.
You know, why does this piss you off about this person? Well, maybe you should be asking the question, what's wrong with me? What do I need to work on that's making me get angry because of that? Just got to ask the right questions. The answers are there.
Yeah. But and the hard thing about that one is that most people won't look at themselves. They don't want to look at themselves. A lot
Yeah,
of people know they got problems, but don't want to admit it.
it's hard,
They
man.
don't want to look in the mirror. They
No,
don't love themselves.
nobody wants to fail. That's what you make you feel like a failure. Nobody wants that. But it's not about
But you
failing.
know what?
Failing is not getting up. As long as you get up and keep on forward is forward. You got that shit, man.
Well, let's put it this way: if you don't reach out, if you don't figure out the resources, find the resources to help you deal with what you're dealing with,
Yeah,
you are failing yourself by not.
yeah,
You are failing your children.
yeah.
You're failing your future relationship
Mhm.
or the one you're in now. You are,
Yeah.
because you're not loving yourself. You're burying your problems. You're burying your issues. And it is pouring over on all these other people that then deserve to deal with your issues.
Which is a type of abuse.
So, which then becomes abusive. So you are failing yourself first and everybody else around you by not dealing with this, by not putting in the work to better yourself. Unless you plan on living in the woods by yourself with no power and nobody around ever,
That's Seven Dwarfs.
you know what I mean? It's going to come out on somebody.
Yeah.
It's going to. And you knowing that you have things that you need to fix and you knowing that you have issues and you choose not to fix them is extremely selfish, because you don't realize the effects that you will cause or are causing the people in your lives already or the ones that will come into your life.
Mhm.
No idea how much damaging what the damage that you will cause because you choose to deny or not face the real problems that you have or the real issues that you need to deal with. And you think, well, I'm fine. I go to work and I do this and this and this. Yeah. But you're passing on that generational trauma to your kids. They're dealing
Mhm.
with it now
Mhm.
because you choose not to. Your relationship, you'll never truly be happy in the relationship that you really want because you're not happy.
I love
You don't
yourself.
love yourself.
Yeah.
You truly don't love yourself. And then when you start to learn to let these things go, talk about it, all these bad things that happen to us as children and in our lives, you never forget them. That it's impossible. It's the tools that you find to deal with it, so that way when you have these thoughts and something comes up in the future, it is not a trigger anymore. you're able to redirect your thinking. You're able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be able to talk about it and not be bothered by it. Because I know, for me, I'm an open book. But some people are not like that because as soon as they talk about it, they freak out, panic, anxiety, can't
Yeah.
talk about it. They get angry. I don't want to talk about it. Slam doors, whatever. A lot of people are like that. They just can't talk about it because it affects them that bad. And if you are those people that get like that, you definitely need to talk to somebody
Yeah.
ASAP
Or some kind of outlet, you
or an
know.
outlet,
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
something.
Write it
But
down, that helps too.
you're
Journal.
causing a lot of damage, not only to yourself, but everybody else around you. And
Yeah.
half the time, because you're not even self aware, because you're already messed up in the head, you're not self aware of the damage you are causing other people around you.
It's a domino effect, you know.
100%.
And then pretty soon you'll have
You know,
nobody around you.
and that's your anger issues come out. That's where abusive relationships come out.
Yeah. And then you
You
do
know,
stupid things.
there's something that happened to that guy in his past. Why he's smacking a girl around. There's 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 no excuse for it,
No.
and there's no, you know what I mean. But something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened in that guy's life. Something happened in that girl's life to go crazy like that, to do this. Something. We all act out for a reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
there.
Just like
Someone could have
kids.
done something in your day to day, but the level that someone takes it to when it could be something small and then they escalate it by 100 times that they need to,
Yeah.
there's more to that than just you cutting me off in traffic. There's something way more. So if you're that person that really has that struggles and knows that you have things to deal with and you choose not to, you are causing serious damage to the people around you and the kids that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And you are failing yourself
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a bigger person to admit that they need help or they have problems
Definitely.
and reach out because you have to. Because, like, for me, and I'm grateful every day that I'm sitting here today, you know, I stood on the edge of a hotel, couldn't take it anymore because I didn't face head on the issues and I let it build up and I let the relationships fail and all these things because I chose not to deal with it because it was easier for me to bury. But in reality, it wasn't easy at all because I just made my life 100 times worse. I caused myself more heartbreaks than I should have had. I caused myself friends, and most of all, my children. You know, that energy, they feel it, they see it. People around you feel it, they see it.
Oh yeah, man. You shoot out an aura too. You know what I mean? You can feel it, man. You walk in the room and just everything will just go fucking dark if you're down. Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
But you got to put in the work. That's all you. It's all you can do. It starts with you. No one's coming to save you. You know,
It's the truth.
it's not up to anyone else to make you happy. It's up to you to make you happy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, and if it's somebody else coming around that all of a sudden made you happy, that's a band-aid because you waited for someone else to make you happy rather than you being grateful for the things that you have and loving who you are first. So whatever it is you guys are going through, we're here. You know, reach out to us, please. We've been through it. We've lived it. And we are doing this because we want to genuinely help you the best that we can. Like Eric said in the beginning, we're not doctors, but when it comes to street smarts, if you want to call it, we've lived it. We an extremely painful 30 years, 40 years. But to come out of that is why we sit here today. So don't be afraid to reach out to us, please. rawmindspodcast@gmail.com. We'll answer every message, every text, every phone call. And we'll do our best to be there for you, to help you, help you find resources if you don't know how to find them. Call us anytime, message us anytime. That's what we're here for. But just know that it starts with you. We're here as a support. We're not here to do the work for you. It's you that has to put in the work, and we will do our best to help you on that journey. Like I said, the resources and whatever, motivation, anything that you need. But it's up to you and you only to make that change, right?
Yep.
So reach out to us, rawmindspodcast@gmail.com, TikTok, raw.minds.podcast. And me, myself, I just want to say, thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you're new to the show, we love having you. And we're here every week. Depending on what platform you're listening to us right now, we're on every platform. So every Friday, minus this one because of technical issues, you'll find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. We're there. So from me to you guys, thank you all for tuning in. If you can't find good people, be good people. See you next week.
I just want to add on that too. Not this one, because we had to record this later and we kind of just came up with this. But we do record live. So come in, chat with us. If you want a topic that you are dealing with that we want to bring up, we'd love for you to interact with us. So yeah, Mondays. All depends on the time, though, if we have guests or not. If we don't have guests, we're there 7:30 Pacific time. Usually, depending on where the guest is, we go from 5 o'clock to about 7 Pacific. So we'll post it, but you got to be following us. So get with it. Anyways, thank you, Joey. Always a pleasure. And that's it. Be good or be good at it. Bye.
Peace out.